Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 9 of the Newcastle United Women's podcast, featuring myself, Joe Kenja. And look at this, I'm all alone. There's no one here beside me. Well, we have got a lot of things to be going over in this one. We have had a very busy couple of weeks since talking to Andy Cook, which might I say was a fantastic interview. Andy, once again, thank you very much, mate. Absolute pleasure. Wow. Well, in that couple of weeks, we'll start off with the big one, the big elephant in the room, and the latest news we've had, which is the 4-0 loss in our friendly against Everton. Happened on Sunday, behind closed doors, down at Everton's training ground. And, well, I mean, before I get into my personal opinion on this, I have got a little bit of a word from Lee, who has sent us some clips in. So I'm going to hand it over to Lee.
Cheers, Joe. So, Everton, when you look at it, though, Joe, you've got to look at it and think, 4-0. You think that's a bit of a hiding. But obviously we can't see because it's behind closed doors. But from what I gather, and the information that's coming from the Everton side, it more or less looked one-sided. Now, for me, you're never going to learn playing Tier 3 and Tier 4 sides because we've gone up. They're not really a test unless you're playing maybe a Nottingham Forest, potentially. Or maybe a hashtag again. You're not going to learn by battering someone 8-0 who you expect to beat that. You're going to learn from mistakes where you can tweak, analyse all of the pre-season, maybe 4 or 5 of them. But I think it's a good test. You know, we've played Glasgow City. We won that 1-2-1, by the way. And they play in the Scottish Premier, and they're a big side up in Glasgow. And then we came back and drew against Milan, who play in the top tier of Serie A. Yes, we've been given a little bit of a hiding by Everton 4-0. We've got Manchester United next weekend at Carrington training ground rather. But I think you learn more, and I'm sure they'll analyse it as I say. And I'm not like, oh my God, pre-season we've been beaten 4-0. No, because as I say, I think you learn a lot more. You'll learn a lot more about where the squad are at in terms of, right, we want to be at that level, how far are we away, especially like when we played Man United in the FA Cup as well, that we defended for the first half an hour without conceding. So they'll learn, both of them, Claire and Becky and the rest of the coaching staff. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see, won't we? But how we see the changes, maybe learn from it. We might not see it until the third, fourth, fifth game, looking at the analysing the first couple of fixtures against London City, Lionesses and so on. But I wouldn't read too much into it. I like the fact that they're playing against quality opposition. I don't know how you feel about that, Joe.
Thank you very much, Lee, for your input on that one. I think, look, not to directly agree with Lee there, but I do believe he's correct in the way we're talking about we need that higher opposition. We can't just keep going against the same old opponents. And yeah, don't get us wrong, it would be lush to just go against these smaller teams and go through a pre-season really trouncing all these teams and being able to test out youth players left, right and centre and, you know, having the rotation there. But I think when it comes to being able to face teams like Everton, teams like Manchester United next week, AC Milan, like Lee mentioned there, would be Glasgow City as well, who are a top women's team in their own right. These teams are the teams where Becky can go out there and she can almost expect a loss. Yeah, she wants the lasses to do great. She wants them to go out and show everything they can and maybe try and get a banging worldie in if they can. But the expectation is to go out and find feelings. It's almost like a troubleshooting process for you, if you like. You know, you're going in and you're looking at different aspects of your game. You're looking at different ways that you can actually improve upon what you've already been doing. You know, we know our 3 at the back was working last season, but this season going forward, I think most people are understanding that 4 at the back isn't going to be, I mean, 3 at the back isn't going to be the answer. 4 at the back's going to be the answer. But how do we work that? Who do we place where? So that's where, when you look at it, I mean, there's been a couple of clips online, and I think you could make it out as maybe Olivia Watt was on the right. You had Potts in the middle. You had Cooper in the middle. And you also had Stokes on the left. So is that the right 4 at the back structure? Do we need to switch that around a little bit? Do we maybe need to sit Amber Stobbs in front of that defence? Again, we don't know much about the loss at Everton yesterday. So, like Lee says, we can't criticise it too much. We can't look into it too much. Yeah, we've lost 4-0. It's been a bit of a battering. I get that, and we're not used to that. But I think overall, from the women's group and a lot of the people who we see coming in on Newcastle Fans TV, I think a lot of people are seeing it as an all right loss, if that can be said. But yeah, it's that kind of loss where you're walking away and Becky's got her notes. Claire Ditchburn, they've both got the notes and they're ready to go into the lasses and be like, right, this is where we went wrong. This is what we need to improve on. We're shooting's great, but we're positioning, it needs improved. So just a quick one, obviously it's me and myself here and all you guys in the comments, so I'm going to have a quick brief over at the comments. ADB, hello, I am obviously Joe, but you probably joined in when the clip of Lee was playing. He's got to get his fingers in somehow, however, man. Stephen, what's happening? Lawrence, good afternoon, my friend. And Smoggy Jen, how's it going? So obviously the big one today, keep those comments coming, people, by the way. And the big one we're looking at today is the Conti Cup draw, the Women's League Cup. We are going to be checking out up here on my other screen. I've got it up on the women's pages, the Super League pages. So as soon as I know what is going on with our draw and who we have, I will be letting you know. But let's break it down a little bit for you. So what you're seeing up on screen here is the potential teams that Newcastle can be drawn against. Now, I'm looking at the exact same screen, so we'll just take a little bit out of this. It will be split into two sections, Northern and Southern, with ball numbers and structures as follows. Obviously, the big number we're looking at is number 6, Newcastle United. Are we the lasses? You've got Everton at number 1, the Mackhams at number 2, Blackburn Rovers at 3, Sheffield United at 4. We've got Liverpool at 5, Geordie Girls at 6, Man United at 7, Durham at 8. Northern section will be split into two groups consisting of 4 teams. The first 4 numbers out of the bag will be placed in Group A, while the remaining 4 numbers will be placed in Group B. So, I am seeing in the comments there, Philip is saying that a draw has been made. We're just going to double check on that now. I'm trying to get everything up as we go. Obviously, it's an issue that I can't have the radio blaring over in the background while I'm talking to you, But we were first ball out according to Phil there. Phil saying that we have been drawn against Everton, Man U, and Liverpool. If that is the case, if that is the group, like, that's a naughty group for winning. It's probably the hardest draw we could have had, but I'm happy to, yes, we have. Yes, confirmed, ladies and gentlemen. It is confirmed. Right there. Thank you, Phil Heinhoff, there, for letting us know. And yes, it is. Newcastle United have been drawn in Group A. We were the first ball out, and we have been drawn against Everton, Liverpool, and Manchester United. Oh, it's like the Champions League last season all over again, isn't it? Truly, truly, Joseph Brook, you said it well there. The group of death. And we've obviously just come off the back of talking that in a friendly we faced Everton and we got fairly done 4-0. And now we're going against them again, this time in the Women's League Cup. Look, wow. Ladies, gents, let us know what you think of that one. Was never going to be out else, hey, Lesney? Are you quite right there about that one? It was never, ever going to be out else for the Geordie lasses, was it? Look, the black and white through and through, like, these are the tests we're going to face, and we've got to just accept them as they come. But, like, I'm interested to see we're going up against Manchester United again. That's going to be class. Lawrence Taylor coming in there, Lawrence, saying different group, but be good to get more experience against WSL opposition. Difficult group, sorry, especially if we do get a home game. Oh, yeah. Can you imagine that? Kingston Park with the likes of Manchester United coming up. Oh, yes, Rachel Law's playing against the Toon. And, I mean, with recent news, who's Nikita Paris going to be playing for? a lot of other people on the channel don't really like speculate rumours and entertain them, and me, I like to have a bit of fun with them. And honestly, I think a lot of people will know I went on saying a good couple of months ago before the season ended, I'd love to have Nikita Parris here. I would absolutely love to have Nikita Parris here at Newcastle United. I think she'd do an absolute job. I think she'd be a first team starter all the time. James Newhill, what's happening? Oh, hey, yeah, bring it on again. Let's go. I've got to say, you're saying that, James, right? One thing I do state now is when it's Manchester United men versus Newcastle United men, I'm like, get away, Red. He's a nuisance. He's a horrible. But honestly, you know, when it comes to the Lasses game, when we came down to Lee Sports Village earlier in the season, it was phenomenal, mate. Like, the support yous have got for your Lasses, the support we had for our Lasses, and the way we came together, and we really give it some back and forth. I want you a bit louder next time, mind. I didn't have to use a hungover or something, but bring the noise a bit more next time. We're outsang you a bit. But no, I'm looking forward to going against you again. I am. Obviously, we're going against Manchester United at training actually next week at Carrington. So that's going to be an interesting one to see what comes out there. Hopefully not another 5-0, even if it is pre-season. Now, I think we've got a lot of new tactics and players to go against you with. On Paris, Joseph Brook there just saying, on Paris, I don't see us breaking our transfer record for her. Look, when it comes to Nikita Parris, I think Nikita Parris is the type of player that we can afford to go out there and break the bank a bit on. I'll be honest with you, Joseph. Like, I personally would pay what we need to pay for Nikita Parris because she's going to be a first team starter. But you've got to add in the fact that it would also be a situation where she would maybe displace one or two of the players already in the team. You know, it could be that. So, Sam, how would you rate that draw out of 10? On the group of death situation, mate, I mean, it's a 0 for me, like, but that's horrible. No, honestly, going on where we want to go, on where Newcastle United Women want to go, we want to start facing challenges. We spoke about this with the Everton result, right? We want to start making a lot of impact and we want to start being tested. I hope a lot of fans have realised by now, if you didn't at the AC Milan match, I hope that Everton result makes you realise stepping up to the Championship is a different kettle of fish. We have jumped from a large pond into the sea. We haven't went to the lake first. No, we went straight to the sea. This is big. I think, and you take the words right out of my mouth, I think out of any of the teams that we had to get a result from, I think it's going to be Liverpool. I do, mate. I think they're the one team who would be close to... A lot of people think of Liverpool and think, oh no, it's just like the men's team. They're a dangerous team. Every team's dangerous in the Championship. Don't get it twisted. But Liverpool are one of the weaker teams out of them 3 teams who have been drawn against. Everton and Man United are going to be massive, massive challenges. I just hope we can go in and we can make an impact in their matches. In every game this season that we get to get tested against such heightened opposition, I do just hope we can make a challenge against them. You know, we can go out there and we can place one mark on the map. Amy Andrews is very hungry for moments like these. But no, it's a very interesting draw. Like, I'd be looking forward to going to the League game, but I hope it's a situation where we get to really, really, really stick it to these at Kingston Park and bring that home feel. Again, calling back to, remember, PSG. Sam, I think you were there, going back to PSG and like bringing PSG here to us and that atmosphere and our heart and our fan support really played the 12th man role, and I think that can be done again against these teams when they come up to Kingston Park, or maybe it's even St James's Park. We never know. Guys, let us know in the comments what you think of that draw. Once again, we have been drawn out first against Everton, Liverpool and Manchester United in the Women's League Cup. Sticking on to the women's game structure as well, we have finally, you might have seen my rant a little while ago about Newco and Nikki Dissett and how everything's playing out and how I just want some more news from it. Well, it finally came. It has arrived. We have a brand new name. Women's Professional Leagues Limited. They have fully confirmed that every single club involved acts as a shareholder. That is across the Women's Championship and the Women's Super League. So structures like the Women's League Cup, they are hopefully going to have much larger prize pots. There's going to be a lot more media involvement on bigger scales. We already know Richard Masters and the Premier League are actively helping out with Nikki Dissett and the Women's Professional Leagues Limited. Yes, I am reading that off a script because I cannot get that name into my head. The WPLL for short. But yes, Richard Masters, Premier League has already given them a loan of £20 million, which is only payable back once the WPLL is made profitable. So yes, I think it's good news. I think this is what we've been wanting to see. This is certainly what I've been wanting to see. Don't know about all you guys, but I've wanted a bit more interaction from them. I've wanted a bit more better branding. Like, instead of going around calling ourselves Newco, like, it doesn't bang a lot of faith in, but hopefully with this now, the WPLL going forward, hopefully the new name, the new structure, they're starting to name new staff members, they're starting to be more transparent about what's actually going on. I think this is finally the big steps that I wanted and the answers I wanted. So I guess all on the board with WPLL, I don't have a lot much more to say other than I am very, very happy with them. Very happy. So that's me buzzing. I hope you guys are buzzing with that. It's not the end. Obviously not. We also have the happy news. I don't even have mine. Wow, I'm usually prepared with props and I didn't even have me prop there. But we'll have the happy news that the season tickets, woo! They're finally here. Hey! Get in. Look, let us know. Actually, that's one straight away before I get into the logistics of it. Guys, let us know in the comments. Have you got your season ticket? Where are you sat? I can't fully confirm now that me and Bernie are sat right next to each other this season, so it is going to be loud at Kingston Park this season once again. If it wasn't already loud enough, putting me and Bernie together is going to be something else. So, where are you sat? Are you happy with the season tickets being out? Are you glad that there's finally something being told that we have got them? The pricing is taking a small jump, a very small jump if you ask me. I was expecting having to fork out quite a bit for me and my little bit Emmy, but we haven't. We have only paid 90 quid all in, which is, as it stands, the ticket prices are £50 for a standard ticket, £70 for a seated ticket, and all your concession tickets are £20. I think the big kicker here, take away the adult seating, the concessions for mostly aiming at the kids and keeping that at £20 wicked. You know, you've got, this is the big thing about the women's game that I bang on so much about, and I believe I've got to correct us if you think I'm wrong, but I believe I've got enough credit to keep stating that the women's game is massively profitable. You have just got to invest, and Newcastle United are doing that tenfold. If it wasn't stated last season, with all the changes they made going full time, it's made it even more obvious this season. So when you're keeping the kids' tickets quite low at £20, it means more families are going to come. More parents are more likely to go, do you know what, we might only make it to 7 games, but we're going to buy that season ticket for £20. It's cheap enough, and we'll buy ours on the door, what have you. And then the adults' tickets, look, all in last year, I think me and Emmy paid £70. So overall, our tickets have went up by 20 quid from going into a championship, league. Lost the word there. Going into a championship league, I think that is honestly class. You know, £70 for a seated adult, £50 for standing adult. You can't go wrong. You're getting 13 games out of that, guaranteed your seats. Now that is the one thing that, surprisingly for me, I was a little bit shocked by this. I'll be honest. I thought most of you knew something like this was going to happen. Likes of Causey and Angela, shout out to you, by the way, been doing some fantastic work lately. Shout out to Causey, Angela, but people like that, Jamie Gallen, Dan Kane, Matt Walby, Davey, Bernie, there was many more years. We're all talking about the changes that were going to come in the championship. So to see so many in the women's group get shocked that we had to have allocated seating this season baffled me a bit. I was expecting it to be that way. Excuse me. Just a quick drink. Got the fantastic multivitamin juice because I have been feeling a little bit low the last couple of days, so I've got to make sure I'm in top form to be coming back at you next season. But yeah, no, the allocated seating, it's a championship regulation. By championship rules, you have got to have a specific seat. It is just safety, etc., etc. There's a lot goes into it, loads of mumbo jumbo. That, quite honestly, with you guys, if you just want to go and look into it, go onto the championship website. The rules and regulations are there for you. Bosh into it. You'll be laughing. You'll love that. But me, I'm okay with it. Guaranteed seats all season for you. Yeah, I don't see a big issue. There's been some, obviously there was a renewal season, which I thought was unreal because this is something I've wanted for so long. A lot of people asked us, oh, do you get a season ticket with the work you do with Newcastle Fans TV? It's like, yeah, I've had a season ticket 3 years. This will be my fourth full year running as a women's season ticket holder. Me and the Bane. And for me, it's a matter of no matter what work I do, you could guarantee me a press pass at every single game. That doesn't matter to me. I am buying my season ticket. I am buying my Emmy season ticket because what I want in the future is for when they start doing things like loyalty points, they start doing loyalty rewards, all that sort of stuff for the women, which is coming. We're going to Europe. I'm telling you, right? We'll save that excitement for another day. But when it comes to stuff like that, I want to make sure that we have those points in the bag. So if you've been able to renew this season and you've took that opportunity, well done, great. If you're just buying a season ticket for the first time, please keep it up each season. I doubt it's going to raise massive amounts over the next 4 or 5 years. I doubt you're going to be paying too much for the season ticket, and it's well worth it because these aren't just investing in our team, they are an investment to our youth, to our kids, to our area, to the women that you know in your family, to the young girls that you know in the family. They are all going to benefit off these inputs. I've got passionate and rambled quite a bit there, haven't I? Well, I'm going to go back to the comments. Lesnator hasn't come through, but I've renewed. Some boy. That's what I like to see. Renewals. I don't know what it's going to be, but hopefully in time, get your loyalty points on the board. Show that you're a true lady mag, you know what I mean? Come on, how are the lasses? Danielle, gives a look, popping you up on screen. Really love that we had a renewal period and we were rewarded for our loyalty. Yes, obviously just ranting on about it there. It is a massive, massive thing. You look at how many of us were going for the last few years. I remember 3-4 years ago when there was about 50 of it. And was stood at Druid Park, it's freezing cold. Or even there was one that I remember so well from Kingston Park, and it was a freezing December day, and we were all huddled together. There was hot water bottles getting passed around the kids, you know. My Emmy had it for a bit, it got passed to someone else's kid, you know. The likes of Rosie, Olivia, all of them good ones. Emily had it, even Dawn had, I think, too at one point, you know. Dawn Marshall, the hot water bottle hog. But no, Dawn, we love you. You know, these things are what matter. We are being rewarded for going for them times, for sticking it out in the storms, in the rain, in the freezing cold fingertip weather. Yeah, man. It's beautiful. And Cramlington Wanderer, BS Road D, I am in BN. I believe that is to the way here. I believe you're just a little bit further along. Don't quote me on maps because, you know, I'm just the one who runs about screaming stuff at matches. I'm not any sort of expert organizer. But yeah, season tickets. Guys, let us know once again, if you've got your season ticket. I keep doing it that way. It's this way. Keep letting us know in the comments. Have you got your season ticket? Did you renew? Is this your first time as a season ticket holder? Is this your first time coming to the Lasses matches? What are you doing with your life? Why haven't you been before? Get yourself there. Bring some lockets. Because trust us, you gotta need it. It gets a bit mental. And yeah, eat before you drink too when you come. Because again, it gets a bit mental for it. But yeah, no, it's going to be a class season. Buzzing season tickets out. Buzzing the fairly priced. Let us know what you all think. Well, moving on. Now, I've spoken before about Nikita Paris. And many people might be thinking, but Joe, we're pretty much hit with limit. We can't bring anyone else in. You see, we have loaned out a player as well. So we do have space for a couple more signings. And as Lee asked at the Salah Cup press conference with Becky, are you looking to bring more people in? Yes, Becky is looking to bring a couple more signings in because one of our very own, one beloved player, and not just her, our parents are well loved as well in the community, but the only Daisy Bird did get a move over to Dalton, Joe? Got a move over to Derby. Very, 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 very good move for Daisy Bird, if you ask me. I think she is going to get to see a lot of first team time over at Derby. I think it's I get it for maybe a first. It might look like, well, oh, there we go, letting go another loved player. But look, Daisy's jumping up into the championship. It's a big jump for such a young player. Yes, she is very talented, but I really think it's best to send her out on loan. Get her some expertise under her belt. Get her some time under her belt. That said, we do have a clip from Leon Daisy. Before I keep rambling on more about Daisy Bird, well done, by the way, Daisy.
Cheers, Joe. So Daisy was pictured in a Derby shirt around 6-7 weeks ago, and nobody really picked upon it really on social media. So announced that she just went to Derby on loan and she wasn't involved in the Salah Cup. It makes sense now, doesn't it? And it's a good level for her. Tier 3, highly thought of. England Youth International. Obviously had a time limited last season because we're playing 3 at the back, and I think that affected her chances of basically playing in the league. She played a lot of the cup games when Newcastle were dominant, and a lot of the FA Cup and the League Cup as well. But good spell. I think she's got to go and rock up that league. She's got to go and blast it. Literally get 9s every week and all that, and come back at pre-season. She's still a young lass, you know what I mean? I don't even think she's 20 yet. I think she's 19. So for her to go out there, it makes sense. And obviously Newcastle are still paying a full-time wage, so she's not obviously financially in any difficult or anything. But for me, she's got to go and smash it. Go on and get 8s, 9s every single week. That's what I personally think about Daisy. Joe, back to you.
Thank you, Lee. This is without a doubt one of the big talking points, I think, for a player so young is she needs to go out there and she needs to perform. Sorry, Daisy, if you see this and we're putting the pressure on you, but I believe you can. I believe if there's any of the players who can go out there and do it, it's the likes of you and Anna Soulsby who can go out there and just can really perform elsewhere. So, yeah, I think this is huge for Daisy Bird. I hope to see her back in a black and white shirt next season and see her come back an absolute baller after belting out absolute wonderful performances all season at Derby and being basically their top player, you know what I mean? Banging in the balls into the box and getting the assists left, right and centre, which has absolutely no right for it. But yes, Daisy, well done. Adiri, I hope I haven't butchered that, but highly, how are you? Mark Gree and James Trafford, 95 million deals through. Look, we are discussing the women's game here, so if you want to talk Nikita Paris to as my mate, I'm happy to, and I'm also Joe, but you've probably seen Lee speaking there. So if you want to talk about us about what you think we can get Nikita Paris for, mate, I'm all down to debate that with you. But yes, we were in attendance, me and my little Emmy Renee. I should know my own daughter's name. How? You just wonder why I get names wrong so often. That's why. I get things mixed up all the time. I'm terrible with names. So, look, yes, last weekend, boosh, look at this. These were the scenes at the Salah Cup, St. James's Park, after Alicia body banged in an absolutely beauty. Oh, what a well-worked goal between her and Shania Hales. Like, honestly, I've already said, Shania, I'm getting a swaggerous picture with you, Ross, because damn, girl's got style on and off the pitch. She is fantastic, and the link-up with Alicia body was insane. Like, look, against such a world class opponent in AC Milan as well, like that was phenomenal. You're seeing here as well, you're seeing Amy Andrews celebrating after her goal, miss confidence, you know. I don't see her nerves ever dropping, which might be a situation with other players that we've had in the past, you know, when they maybe missed an opportunity, the confidence would drop. I think Amy is very much one of those players who is just going to be hungry for more. When she feels she's going to knock herself down and bring herself back up and know that that's what's important. But yeah, the Cellar Cup was beautiful, man. Like, honestly, I hope many years got to experience that and didn't back out because of whatever else was going on in the city at the time. And I hope you've got to come up there and experience that for the lasses, because I mean, when we were 2-1 down, and it was coming towards the end, I was thinking, this is it, you know, this is the big loss for at St James's Park, and we knew it would come. I'm just gutted it's coming, and bang, Amy Andrews bangs that other one in, and then we go to a penalty shootout, Miami's first penalty shootout, like in person, and my God, what a moment! What a moment! Hannah Hawkins, formerly known as Hannah Reid, for anyone who was confused, because I was messaging her about that. Hannah, oh where man? Changing your name like that? I was like, people are coming up to us going, who's Hawkins? I'm stood there like, Hawkins? I didn't know. Justin? Like, what's going on here? But no, Hannah Hawkins, what a performance. Like, just the penalty shootout alone, mate. You done unreal. That one that hit the bar, you had that as well, though. Like, even if it didn't hit the bar and it was dipping in, you had it. Boosh, it was over with one. Like, unbelievable performance. And in the game itself, you are phenomenal. It was unreal. But yes, they were able to lift the, Cellar Cup trophy champions. Can you say that? No, you can't. Darren Neal's presenting it as well. And what I want to say is I love how much Darren Eales is actually getting involved in this women's team. And I get it, he hasn't made as many appearances with the women's team as what maybe Amanda Staveley had and Murda Gadusi, but he's starting to become more invested. He knows this is something that he needs to be there for. He needs to be regularly attending. He needs to be having a hands-on um, approach with the team, being actually there on site, experiencing the fans, being in the basking in the glory. Like, I'm glad that he's doing it, because you look in the past and you look at, not even in the past, right? You look currently now, and I look back to, and I spoke to Andy Cook about this on the podcast last week, but you look at other teams, and he said it. He went, in all the teams I was in, I never once met the owners. However, I've been here at Newcastle United for 3 months, and I've met both the owners twice in the space of 3 months. And now you've got the likes of Eales out there having a hands-on approach and really getting to know a team for who they are in person, getting to talk to them. And this is just the stuff where he's there at St James's Park that we see. We're not seeing how much he's invested behind the scenes up there. Like, has he been up there to the training ground? I would likely be believing that he is. And it's just great. And it's also something else as well. Ownership aside, the investment the club and the sponsors want to have in the women's game, they know the power, they know the profitability from the women's game, and they know, take it good, take it bad, it's up to you, but they know how loyal us Geordies are and how much we are going to follow these lasses up and down the country, left, right, centre, wherever you go. We are backing you guys all the way. Becky's black and white on me. But yes, Cellar weekend, loved it. Want to see more of that. That said, we're going to skip through and get through a couple of the other players to discuss, such as Erin Nelson. Now, not a lot on Erin Nelson to say, to be fair. We didn't see a lot of time from Erin at Newcastle United, but Erin has moved on and went to Stoke. We'll wish her all the best of luck. I think Erin has the potential to be a great player. Let's hear what Lee's got to say.
Yeah, so good to see Aaron get a move. I mean, we've talked a little bit about Kira Skelton recently leaving it with injury troubles. Even Erin's had even worse last couple of years. She's really been struggling with injuries, and now she's had time down with the Devs as well, and won obviously the cup with them. However, it's a good move for Stoke. Going back down to part-time, I don't know if she's got any personal uni studies or anything like that, because Manchester's not that far from Stoke, is it, if you're travelling by car. But, you know, she's made her debut, she came off the bench. I think she needs to go and get regular football now and make her way up the leagues, and it's a good level for her, tier 3 at Stoke. So we've just got to wait and see. I think I'd like to see her personally become a regular, have a full season, hope she just stays away from injury, because a lot of these injuries probably affects the club keeping them on. Look at Kira Skelton, as I say. But that's what I think, Joe. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Lee. It's a look. Like I said before, there's not a hell of a lot to say with Erin. I hope, backing up what Lee said, I hope she can stay out injury and really excel her career. I think there is some sort of potential in Erin Nelson. So moving swiftly on to another former Newcastle United player, and that is going to be the one, the only, Bridget Galloway. Bridget, if you didn't see, has joined fellow former Newcastle United player Naomi Badeau. Now, I think personally, for me, you look at the record Bridget had at Newcastle last season, you look at the goal scoring rampage she went on at the start of the season. I think this was one that a lot of people sat there and went, What? Why you got rid of Bridget? What's going on here? And look, I mean, personally for me, I was quite sad to see Bridget go. I was a bit shocked. I thought even if we were to bring another centre forward in, maybe it would be a rotation style role, you know. Bridget is there as backup, but obviously it's not to be. Bridget moves on to full-time Stoke, so she stays in that full-time position, which I think is fantastic for a player of her calibre. I think that is fantastic. And you've got Naomi Badeau there as well, so you know she's got comfort there. And Nottingham Forest are a team who, for me, they are going to be coming up to the Championship. We have not seen the last of Nottingham Forest, not by a long shot. They will not be far behind us. When Andy Cook managed them the year before us, he was able to win the trophy and the League Cup, and sadly didn't get promoted in that season because of stipulations in the league at the time. But Nottingham Forest are a team ready for the Championship, and to see players like Bridget Galloway and Naomi Badeau there, it's going to excel their careers massively, massively, massively so. I wish Bridget all the very best, and obviously being one of my daughter's favourite players, I am sad to see you go, Bridget, but all the best to you. Just going back and looking at a couple of the comments here, we've got BMW Nomad. Is that BMX still for sale? Nomad. It's a ring, like, aye. I think Newcastle United Women are going to win a major cup before the men's team. I'm just going to take a really, really, really arrogant sip. They already have. They won the league. Back-to-back. League wins. History. For me, bigger than anything the men have won recently. But no diss to the men's team. It's all black and white, you know what I mean? But I do agree, and I think that it's very likely that the women's team can potentially bag something before the men's. We'll see this season, though, because I have went on record of saying I think the men's team will bag a trophy this season, but we'll see. I would love it to be the women first. Going on to Adiyuri again. Hi, Joe. Amanda Staveley and Murdad should come back as owners of Newcastle United today. Yeah, like, I would love it. But sadly it's not to be, and we can't look too much towards what is backstage and what's been happening, and you know, it's sad, but I think we're in a position where the owners and the people that we have backstage know enough between the men's team and the women's team and with youth teams. Like Sir Paul Mitchell, he weighs heavy on the youth. I think we're in the right hands, so to speak. So yes, moving on to another. It is Newcastle United Women drawn out first, as it would be, into a dangerous group. Everton, Liverpool, and Manchester United Oh, it seems we had some issues in the clip with Shauna. May apologies about that one, ladies and gentlemen. It wouldn't be me if something didn't go wrong there, and I might actually have to blame that one on me stream runner, who was Lee, who set this up just to pass the buck. Now, he set this one up beautifully. It's been great so far, and I do apologise about the audio cut out there. So, hopefully everything's going well now. Yes, so Everton, Liverpool and Manchester United in the group. We have spoke about that at the top of the stream. We're going to go into and get some of the press conference footage that Lee gathered from Newcastle United Women at the Cellar Cup.
Heartbeat of Newcastle United Women. He's been a great friend and colleague to all of us, capturing so many memories across the last few seasons here at Newcastle, but right across that football pyramid. Colin knew everything about girls and women's football. He used to often say to me about players who were under 10s, under 12s coming through. I was thinking, Colin, how do you know all this knowledge? But I'd previously coached his daughter Courtney, who was with her partner and a mum in the chairman's suite today, which was a really nice touch for the family. But I think more than anything, yes, we've all shed a tear for Colin, or more than a few anyway, because he was a great guy. But I think most importantly for us is days like today, Colin would have absolutely thrived. So to see us win today and to see the stadium again full for women's football, he would have been super proud. So it's really proud for me to stand in the dugout knowing that I'm representing people like Colin who've been a part of this journey.
Yeah, so you heard Becky there. We've spoke about it multiple times, and I would like to just bang one out that I did prepare in a very, very, very beautiful picture that Colin actually produced for me. If you can see that, that is me, mate Emmy, Emily, and Bernie. Bernie dressed as Santa and Reindeer the Rudolph, obviously, but Colin took that picture for me 1 week. I seen it online that same night. I told him how much I loved it, and the next week that we arrived, he passed it to us alongside another one of me in the bin, which was the iconic pose that became apparent between me and Emmy, thanks to Colin. And every time we would see him, that was the pose. Obviously, as you can probably hear, it still gets to us a bit now about Colin, but he was an absolute stalwart, like Becky said, for this club and for North East women's football as a whole. Anyways, Colin, crikey, mate, did he kick your arse when I get up there? Because you keep catching us off. Amy Andrews.
On your goal. Are you going to be giving a few words to Georgia, because she always scores at the Gallagher, so you're going to wind her up a little bit later?
Oh, now you've told me, yeah, it's good to know. I'll definitely be doing that, but yeah, I didn't know that, but I'll definitely be winding her up now.
She always scores at the Gallagher, so you've got one on her. I want to ask you, what's your personal ambitions? Obviously the team we know about. What's your own?
I want to win the Golden Boot and I want to be player of the season. Like, I just want to win everything, and I want to get to the WSL with a club like this. So yeah, Newcastle feels like home already, and I'm not even a Newcastle fan, but I feel like an adopted Geordie already, and I am ready to give my all this season, and I will. So
it's because everyone loves Geordies, man, that's why.
I love a Geordie.
How have you settled in? Because Durham's only just down the road. Has it been quite easy for you? Have you had to move house, or is it easy because it's local?
Yeah, I've moved house and I'm living with Leah, and it's absolutely amazing. It has been easier being up north last season, and I just love being up north now. I feel like I want to be a northerner, being from Birmingham. I don't know, I just love being up north. I think it's a great community, lovely people, and yeah, it's somewhere that I call home now.
Oops, sorry about that. Didn't realise I hit the live button. Just getting that lovely multivitamin juice back in my system. Necessary. Anyways, yes, especially when I'm rambling this much to you guys all by myself as well. Do you know how nuts I sound right now? But we'll move on. Amy Andrews, bags of confidence or what? Swagger like Jazz might have a bit of competition this season for the most swaggerous in the crew. Like, no, yeah, look, I love that from Amy. That's what we want in a player, especially a centre forward. We want them to be like, yeah, I'm getting the Golden Boot. Like, no biggie. That's me objective. Like, go on, lads. Be the female version of Erling Haaland, please. Nah, Amazing composure in front of goal. When she equalised for a finish, sublime. There's not many complaints about that, especially you're looking at pre-season friendly. You know, she's still got another full couple of gears to get kicked into when the season begins. I know there was a few who were worried that we hadn't quite signed an efficient replacement to Paige Bailey-Gale or Bridget Galloway. I know there's a lot of controversy between them two by a lot of fans, but you know, they've done jobs for her. But that we hadn't fulfilled that spot effectively enough. I think now we can say we have. We're like, without a doubt, interview, that goal at St. James's Park, we have fulfilled that role happily. I think she's going to go out there and she is going to strive to do well and actually achieve many goals. Guys, let us know in the comments what you think of Amy Andrews. What do you think of her confidence? And what do you think of her, as she said there, she's living with Leah Cataldo. It's Leah Cataldo, Cataldo. Let us know what you think, guys, of Amy Andrews and her being signed. Yes, well, we are coming close to the last few subjects, yeah, ladies and gents, and it has been fantastic. Now, we've spoke about a lot of players who've moved to different clubs. We want to start speaking about the people who we have. One of them being Sophie Haywood. Cracking player. Absolutely cracking. Love to see the business has been discussing. There's not a lot of information you can take on Sophie, however, which I know some people might be a little bit like, ooh, that's dangerous. Well, let's hear what Lee's got to say.
Cheers for that, Joe. I think Sophie will come in. I think she'll push Bethel Lumsden hard. I know Beth will probably be playing in one or two other positions herself, because a lot of the squad need to be flexible and play two positions. That's what Becky likes. But with Sophie coming in, I think she'll be an impact player. We've seen it in the Cellar Cup. She was playing on that right-hand side. I think that's where she'll play this season. I don't expect her to be a regular to start off, but that doesn't mean to say that she can't make her way in halfway through the season, because you've seen that last season, 2 or 3 players done that as well. There were some changes made during the season. You've seen Jazz McQuaid come in. You've seen a couple of new signings come in and become regular. So got to bide that time in. And I think she needs to settle. She's had a couple of clubs recently in the last 2 or 3 years. So for me, I expect her to be a rotated player to start off with. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't think I'm going to expect that to set the world alight. And I'm not being, discouraged against her. But I think with Beth Lumsden in front of her, which I expect her to play most weeks on the right-hand side, I think Beth can, she's more or less two-footed, create goals, score goals. I think she's ahead of her. But that's what I think, Joe. Do you disagree?
Do I disagree with you, Lee? Look, with the information we've got, it would be hard for us to agree or to disagree. I will say that. I don't think there's enough information, but I have my sources and I have spoken to a couple of people who have watched Sophie play, who likes Aston Villa. Aston Villa and Sheffield United, by the way, she's got bags of experience, extensive time playing for them two teams, which are competitive teams, very much so. So you've got to expect something. Now that said, I think as a rotational player, I think she could be quite an impact. I think she could be one of these, almost like a Jazz McQuaid, that when you bring her on, you know she's meaning business and you know she's going to make a very important pass or a very important cross that's going to result in goals, and you're going to become accustomed to that. So I think to fans, to all that sort of stuff, I think Sophie Haywood could end up being very much a big impact player. She comes on at the right times. I think that is something I would like to see from Sophie Haywood. However, I think if she's getting placed in as a first team player over the likes of Beth Lumsden, I think it's going to upset that apple cart a little bit too much. Shoot me down if you all want to. For real. Everyone can shoot us down on this one, but I think the apple cart has been tipped enough. I think bringing Haywood in, at first I was a bit like, ooh, I'm unsure on this one, guys. I don't know if I agree with this one. Again, I'm not a negative person. I'm not being negative towards Sophie Haywood. She's could hit the ground running and be absolutely phenomenal. It wasn't our ability that I was bothered about. It was our position. We've got enough wingers. We didn't need another one. So, look, again, Becky, Sue, if you guys are watching this as well, my apologies. Like, shoot us down next time you see us, chuck a rotten tomato off us or something, you know. But yeah, look, I've got faith in the club. I've got faith in Becky. I've got faith in everything our staff, everyone at our staff bring in. Like, I do have faith that Sophie's going to do a job, but I just personally, I probably would have rather seen a different position. Maybe he's like a more dedicated central midfielder or a more dedicated left back. Or as I've went on record many times saying, kept Naomi Bideau. But but look, yes, Sophie Hayward. We'll see what the season brings. That's for certain. Let's jump back to the comments for a second. Jinky, any word on where Tyler's gonna go? By the looks of it, and this is mostly off stuff that has just been read, I don't have any sort of confirmation on this. Tyler's probably not going to go to another football club. That's probably going to be it for Tyler, and I'm gutted. I personally think Tyler Dodd still has a good couple of years within her to really express this on this football pitch and inspire some young lasses. She has already done that massively, so maybe it's job done for Tyler. I just hope whatever it is, she's had a very fun time here at Newcastle, and I hope she enjoyed every moment because we appreciated Tyler so much. Her and Mum Julie, Julie, we love you. Tyler, we love you. All the besties in the future, and please, I'm not even actually going to please take them please away. Don't be a stranger. I'm hunting you, doing and bringing you to a match, you know what I'm saying, right? Josh, my man. Ladies and gents, if you don't know Josh, right, I'm going to post his second comment as opposed to his first. Look, right, hoping to catch 1 or 2 games when over in January. And people might be thinking, oh, well, Philly, is he from America? And he's coming to see a Lasses match? Why? Josh is one of these who, for me, I'll go on record saying that fans who go to the Lasses games and the Lad games are the true deep down Newcastle fans. You don't just love the club, you love the city. You love everything about this. It's in your blood. Josh travels all the way from Philadelphia to get himself to watching a Newcastle men's and women's game. He was making sure that he got to see the women's game as well. He planned it right so that he would get to see that, and it was fantastic meeting him. Sadly though, Josh, I only briefly met you, mate. We only had about 5-10 minutes worth of chat, and it was one of those days where it was so busy. So the next time you're coming over, please get in contact with us. We'll get you on the channel. We'll close to the time. In fact, this is it, Josh. If you're willing, my mate, when it comes close to the time of you coming over, we'll get you on the podcast. You can sit and chat with. Where at the end of the day, you're one of the big fans. Like you support from halfway across the world. Like I can hear you shouting "tune" right now. Do you know what I mean? Black away, away, black away, away. So yes, cheers, Joe. I'm looking forward to this upcoming season for the Lasses. But what is everyone looking forward to the most, or who? Please let us know in your comments. Let us know what you think, what you are looking forward to. And now what I'm looking forward to. And there's one man who summed up one of the things that I'm looking forward to the best last week. I'm going to bring in Andy Cook. Let's have a look at what he said on the fans.
Like, how come there's so many fans turn up? Like, do you give tickets away? I was like, no. Literally, like, the fans they love watching the club. And obviously that was proof when we went to United, and 1,500 fans to go to an away game. This might sound bad, but I'm just going to say anyway. For me, it's like a proper football following. It's not, I'm going to watch the women's team. It's, I'm going to watch Newcastle United play. Yes, it's the women's team, and just that subtle difference, I think, is such a, it's unique to Newcastle, and it'd be nice if a lot of other clubs had the same sort of belief and love and the way that they want to follow their football club. And I think that's probably the most unique thing about Newcastle. I can say that, the fans, any team that plays in black and white, you want to support the club, and you support them as good and if not better than everybody else, because like you say, I mean, yourself, Lee, going to Japan to see the blokes in the tour, the 1,500 fans going to Manchester United to watch us play in the FA Cup. It's like nowhere else in the country, and it is unbelievable. And that's where, for the lifelong Newcastle fans on the men's side, they're crying out to win a cup and to win a trophy, and whichever manager manages to do that for Newcastle United, they will be. Well, there'll be a statue erected the next day next to Bobby Robson, and they'll be going down the folklore. So it is. You're right. It's one of them where the higher the go. I mean, I'm putting money on Newcastle Sunderland at St James's Park in the Stadium of Light. If there's not over 30,000, I will eat my hat. I just think that game, I can't see the not being. If 22,000 came to watch us against Portsmouth playing Sunderland at St James's Park, the first time a women's derby's been there, I mean, it sells itself, doesn't it?
We're not nuts. We don't buy everything. What are you talking about? 1 scarf. 2 scarf. 3 scarf. Oh, here the lasses. And of course, what was that, Andy? You'll eat your hat. If not, you can eat this hat, my son. Right? That'll do you fine. How are you, the lasses merch? The black and white shop. It's in black and white. Make sure you get yours. I've also got the new line coming out, the baller line. Unreal, it's in black and white. They've done a crossover flag last week. Flag. Scarf. Why do I call scarves flags? Every time I call a scarf a flag this season, I'm going to put £1 in a pot and see how much I've got at the end of the season, right? That's my whole thing, right? I'll probably pay for 3 people's season tickets, including mine and Emmy's. Anyways, yes, Andy, the fans. We are absolutely nuts and we are dedicated. I've just said it before to Josh and mentioned about Josh from Philly. Like, he comes from Philadelphia to watch the lasses. Not just, I might as well do it while it's there. It's the same with my old mate, John O'Hare. Some boy John, he comes over. Super fan Dan and his wifey. Loving it. We classed to meet Super fan Dan last season. They're coming over from America and watching with. Then you've got the likes of Bernie. You've got the likes of Jill. You've got the likes of Chelsea. You've got the likes of Leighton. Happy birthday. I want everyone to chuck a comment in saying happy birthday, happy 9th birthday to Leighton. Anna Soulsby's #1 fan, Leighton. Happy birthday, mate. I hope you're enjoying the rest of your day. Your front flip earlier was really mad. That was wild. Like, just go for it, mate. How are you doing? Like, face plants. You're good. No, happy birthday, Leighton. Hope it's a belt. As I know you've been getting some special messages from the lasses players. Enjoy. But yes, fans like them. Fans like Matt Walby. I hope Matt doesn't mind us saying this. However, Matt at the start of the season was worried to come over and talk to me, and now he's writing his own blog. He appears on my vlogs regularly. Like, these fans aren't just gaining a following of the team here. It's a community that we've built. So when you hear about 1,500 of us going down to Manchester United, going down to the Lee Sports Village, or like 800 of us going to the Forest City ground, wicked day again, filling out a coach and a half, 2 coaches full. Yeah. You know how mental and loyal us lot are. It's unreal. The fans, love the fans. Let's check the comments out. Let's see what I'm missing, because a few came through there. Lesonator, the Derby, let's go. And how are the lasses? Sorry, whoa. How are the mags, everyone? Come on, can't wait for that. Joe, keep up the good work promoting the women's team at NUFC. How do you think they will get on this season? David, appreciate you. I don't personally think that it's promotion that I do. Personally, I think I just run about like a nutter with a camera, but I appreciate everyone who keeps saying I support them, I promote them. Cheers. I'm just running about like nuts, enjoying my days, like everyone else is. How do I think they're going to get on? I don't think I've actually answered this question to anyone properly yet or said it out in public. I don't think promotion's happening. I'll just say that right there. Sorry, Becky. Becky, cover your ears. I don't think promotion's happening. And not in a sense of we're not doing well. I think that's what I think this season's going to be. I think we're going to do well. Really well. But I don't think it's going to be promotion. I don't think we've got the how to put it, the gap. Look, the gap between tiers 2 and 3, between tiers 4 and 3, sorry, we're quite small, you know. And again, I said it earlier, I put it in of like, a lot of people say, oh, you go from the pond to the lake to the sea. Like, we've went from being the big fish in a pond to diving into the Atlantic Ocean. This is literally where we're at now. We are in the deep end. So I don't think it's going to be a stellar season where we'll go out there and we'll finish first or second. I'd be happy with top 7. Top 4, fighting for. I would like that. I would. Am I expecting it though? Nah. As long as we don't go down, I wouldn't. I think going down would be the only thing that would leave me disappointed about this season. And maybe leave a few fans with a couple of I told you so's. Not many, but yeah. So cheers, David. BMW Nomad, Joe, keep up being mythical. You're going to make us bust out the spiral onesie next. I like that one, mate. I'm not going to be humble on that one. I like that one. Yeah, I'll keep being mythical. Don't you worry, Nomad. How much was the Shields top? The Shields top, Shields top was £45, my friend. Beautiful little piece. Let us just stand back. Show you this off. Sponsored by, if you didn't see, Nike. How Shields bagged that, I don't know. And they don't seem to understand how it happened either. But yeah. Sponsored by the Exchange. No Shields top. Tiny top. Got the netting on the back like a proper pro top it is. Really good material. Nice fitting. I love it. This is the away kit. I mean, I don't think you can see on camera, but it's even got like a pattern inside of it as well, like arrows. It's lush. Really, really, really nice top. Get onto the Shields website. You know, we can hook you up with a Shields top somehow. Or would you be interested in a competition? Might even talk to Shields. Might try and get a competition going. But yeah, we've got Josh, we've got David, we've got Ella, all saying happy birthday to my guy Leighton. We've got James Kirkham, Tough Joe, getting the only 3 WS teams in the northern section. But should be able to get a few games away. Look, we should get a few decent Northwest games that are going to be easy. That's going to be nice for a new ground in Liverpool and Everton as well. Nomad saying happy birthday to Leighton as well. Look, I think, James, it's one of those. Sam said it earlier. It was bound to be, wasn't it? It's bound to be a group of death. Happened in the Champions League. It's happening for the women's team. Yeah, it is what it is. I think it's the challenges we need. Jinky, it is still 1 up, 1 down. That is how it goes with the championship now. We are in the big ends now. And look, guys, we've only got a couple of clips left. It has been an hour and it has breezed over. I just want to say, actually, no, we'll leave the soppiness and the thanks till the very end. I think the last thing, just checking me little checklist. The last thing we have, guys, is of course, Claire Ditchburn, our new interim assistant manager, might I add. Let's see what Lee's got to say.
Thank you very much, Joe. And you're doing a fantastic job. See, we're a team, me and Joe. I produce, Joe presents. So I'm fortunately not live if you stay, but Joe's doing a fantastic job. And if you are listening, 5 stars, come on the audio, give us a rating. And also if you're watching live on YouTube, thumbs up, that's what we need. Thank you. But obviously Claire Ditchburn has recently been appointed. It's temporary or interim, whichever way you want to call it, manager, assistant to Becky, that is. And obviously it was a real surprise, Andy Cook leaving. We were all like, whoa, what's happened there? But obviously we've had Andy on the previous podcast, so please go and check that out. He wants to be a manager, and that obviously makes sense because you can see that in him. So good luck to Andy. But Claire Dishburn, only just recently heavily pregnant, gave birth recently. And when I initially seen it, I was like, ooh, temporary. But a CV, works at higher levels. She's worked at Durham. She doesn't have to really relocate. Easy for me to say. However, having looked at it just recently give birth, it gives the club the opportunity to see how Claire works with Becky in particular, and vice versa if she likes that role as well. So I think it's possibly leading into maybe a full-time role, but we'll have to see, does Claire have ambitions herself to go and be a first-team coach like Andy? That's the probably only slight worry, but there's no risk to it, and it maybe gives the club options to maybe look at other people as well, not just Claire for that role. Joe, what do you think?
Aye, Claire. What do I think? Well, I think when I've done a little stat digging, it was hard as per usual, which is one thing I do want the WPLL. Look at that, I got it right. Whoosh! Don't tell us to see what each one says because I won't get that right. No, I think with Claire, when I looked into that information, she was an interim coach at Everton Women during the back end of the 21-22 season. I think that is very good experience to have. She's played at that level. Looked at the record back then. It's, she's an interim coach at that point. Just working hand in hand with someone else to be head of the team. It was all right results given the circumstances in a very tough league at the time as well. She was also, now this is the one I want to look at, and this is the one I want to focus on. Claire Ditchburn was the Manchester City's under-21s women's coach from 2018 to 2022. Why is that interesting? Well, that is because some of the best players have been in Manchester City women, just so you know, have probably one of the best, if not the best, infrastructure for the women's football in this country and in Europe. There's not many who can stand up to them. Like, even when you look at Chelsea, and Chelsea's got a great infrastructure, they don't have the integration that Man City women have. Man City women regularly, they can train with the men. Yeah, this happens. Like, they are very well integrated. So when you're thinking she's an under-21s coach, she has rubbed shoulders with some very, very experienced names at Manchester City. And she has seen some great youth and managed them. What are we focusing on a lot in the minute? Great youth, progressing them, making them better. Yeah, I think the Manchester City under-21s coaches are most the time scale as well. 4 whole years doing that, coaching youth players, bringing them up to scratch, getting them up to, preparing them to go up to that next step, to taking them into the next first team. That is a very important role. That is literally the last step before first team. She is in a great position there. I think she's going to bring bags of experience and bags of tricks and skills and tips for the lasses. Becky did say, and I quote, "Claire brings a wealth of experience to the group. She is a confident and knowledgeable coach who has impressed me immediately with her presence on the pitch." Lovely to hear that her presence on the pitch is impressing Becky, because that is one thing we know. You always see Becky rarely takes a seat. Even when we're winning 5-6-0, she's up there telling them what they can do a little bit better, telling them which direction to go. She's always interacting with the team. She's interacting with her captain, pulling the captain to the side of the pitch as soon as she gets a second. So knowing that Claire's going to do that as well, it just brings about that. Now, being interim, though, that's a confusing one for me. Controversial or not, I think everyone knows it, but Andy, I would like to have keep him, but as you heard from Andy last week, it was more of a situation where Andy wanted to be a head coach. Fair crack, and he's going to do excellent at that. I would love to see one day in the far future for Andy to maybe come back to Newcastle. I think he would be able to do business here. Maybe when that wonderful person's time is up, or she needs to look towards a new challenge. But regardless, yeah, Claire Ditchburn, let us know, guys, what you think in the comments. Now, I did miss one thing, which I think I've done well. First time, give us a thumbs up, guys. Give us the likes. Give us the 5-star ratings. Give us everything. You know what I mean? Next time you see us, throw a $5 in my back pocket. I'll take a read for me. And the one thing I did miss, before we get back to your comments there, I see them that way. I did miss out on Chris Steigl. Sparta! GK. leaving the club, moving on to different pastures. Not 100% sure where Chris has moved on to, but he's been there for a number of years, coaching plenty players that will have. Chris has been he's been a regular on a match day, has Sparta. He's been that guy who you always come to see and expect to see. He's always there greeting you, having a laugh. He's going to be a miss on a match day, I will say that. But I just know that wherever he goes on to, Chris is going to do fantastic in his role. No lie in saying that he's a fantastic women's goalkeeper coach, bringing Grace on for the last few years. You know, you've seen Grace go from strength to strength and strength to strength, and it's got to be down a lot of the part of the training that Chris has been able to give her. He has been replaced interim temporarily by Tom Reed, which if you didn't know, that is Cara Milne Redhead's partner. I've met Tom on a couple of occasions. Great bloke. He's also an experienced coach, currently coaching at goalkeeper level with I2I and Blythe Spartans. So yes, he's heavily involved in a lot of teams, and he's certainly not rusty as well, Tom. So let's hope he can fill up that role. So let's have a little look-see of these comments. Let's get back on and see where we are, because we are getting ready to wrap this up, ladies and gents. I've hit all the subjects. I've only had one little mess up, which technically wasn't even my mess up. It was Lee's. Lee, what are you doing? I know I missed out before, by the way, that I could have said something, James, and I missed a trick. I could have said some really horrible stuff about Lee, but sadly I hadn't reviewed that clip yet. Lucky, because he could have done it about me. Hey, it is what it is. Looking back, 5-star plus BMW Nomad. Yes, look, Nomad is seeing what needs to be happening. Look at that. Wait, this way, out of the comment, Joe. There you go. Fingers getting taken by using the comments. Hit the 5-star plus. Give with a like and the subscribe on YouTube. You know how it is, guys. Don't want to blab you too much with all that business. I blab fast enough, and anyways. I know it may not be in their ambitions, but do you think if Becky and Andy wanted their coaching acumen, could give them a chance coaching a men's team? I personally think Becky is so world class. Well, Josh, you've probably opened up a can of whole worms here, my mate. That could be a members video. Look, in a nutshell, I don't think it's my place to comment on whether I think Andy or Becky could or would want or capable of coaching a men's team. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility, and I would like to start seeing more women's managers and men's managers transferring over and doing business at different ends of the games. But I think it's one thing that I go on saying a lot of the time is it is the money of the situation. I hate that it comes down to that, I do. But does a say a League One or a Championship side, I'd probably say like a League One side, do they look at bringing in and testing the likes of a Andy or a Becky and seeing if they can really try the hand at that job? I know a lot of people, when Gareth Southgate announced his retirement, were saying, well, why don't we try and get Serena Wiegman in? And it's one of those things of, if someone is a professional chef, you don't then be able to also expect that professional chef to bake you a perfect loaf of bread, because that's the baker's job. Chef buys his bread from the baker for a reason, do you know? That was a mad analogy. I don't know why that analogy came out, but how do you rate that analogy? But yeah, I don't think it's my place to say that one on Becky and Andy coaching a men's team. Joseph Brook, I heard rumours last season of Becky going to Brighton, but they have a manager now, so I don't think that it happens. I do vaguely remember this one. And it was around about January time, I believe. Because that was round about the time when there was talk that Andy might take over the women's team. I think that's one of those where it's just you take it with a pinch of salt. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure that Becky leaving was going to ever be in the matrix. I think personally, Becky would only leave Newcastle if it was deemed that she simply couldn't take her any further. And I think that would be a choice that Becky would make because of her love for the club, her love for the game, And I think Becky would look to, and I think that goes with it, with seeing with a lot of the players who have come up from likes of tier 4 and such and made the way to where we're on now. I think if it came to it and they had to go, right, I need to take a step back for the betterment of the team, I think they'd be the types to suggest it first, and I think Becky would be that. So yeah, I'm not sure about Becky going to Brighton. Remember the rumours, but pinch of salt, I think Becky's going to stay with us until she simply just can't do the job anymore. James, definitely think she could, but you've got to be careful because it insinuating that managing a men's team would be preferable or better. Yeah, and that's kind of my point of what I said. I don't think, like, when I say that one of bacon bread and the professional chef one, it's a matter of the same thing of, like, yes, it's all football, but there's different levels of football. Like, Championship and League One football are different. Championship football is different to Premier League football. Like, I go and watch North Shields play, and the EBAC Northern League is a completely different kettle of fish to the women's game, and a completely different kettle of fish to the mainstream men's game. Completely. All the tackles and stuff you see going down there, I've seen players trying to square up the refs. That happened in any of the leagues we watch, League One, Championship, or even in the women's Championship, even in the fauna leagues. They're off. Red card, see you later. The EBAC Northern League, wait, no, the ref basically squaring back up to them saying, tell you what, mate, meet out in the car park after half time. I watch what happens to you. No, that's not the case. Jokes aside. But yeah, I think that's the whole thing of, like, I want to start seeing men and women's managers switch over a bit more so that we can start seeing new tactics come to the game. I'm a massive fan of tactics and such. Doing me a little bit of nerd one here. That is Sun Tzu's Art of War. Amazing book. I love strategy. I love tactics. And I think that is something that I want to see more often in the women's and the men's game. The switch over of the managers, because I do think the likes of if you put Becky Langley and Eddie Howe in a room together, and we have heard that they do have calls and they do confer with each other. But you put them in a room together, they're going to instantly come up with totally different tactics for both teams. Becky's going to play that men's team different to how Eddie plays that men's team, and Eddie's going to play that women's game different to how Becky plays the women's team. If I got that right, wicked. That sounded confusing, but that's the sort of things that I would like to see from managers switching over. Well, look, I am away to a secret location tonight to do some secret recording. Not so secret now, hence dressed like this. But yes, going to get some content and stuff. I just want to say, ladies and gentlemen, I went to go do this before. Thank you all so much. This has been a really enjoyable experience. It definitely won't be the last one I do one alone. I just like to have guests on a lot of the time as well, because I know how much I can waffle, and I know how much you'll be like, Jesus, Joe, will you slow down? No, but it's been lush having you all. Big shouts out to the likes of BMX, Ella, shout outs to Josh for coming through, Joseph, James. Like, there's been so many years. Once again, happy birthday to my mate Leighton. I don't think we've missed out. If I have, drop it in the comments when this comes back up. Give this a 5-star rating. Give this a like. Give this everything you can. Stick a $5 in my pocket the next time you see your man. What am I putting? I didn't even know it. That one's for Adam Phillips. He loves his rapping. Yeah, no, thank you very much. It's been excellent. Again, one more time before we go off. It is, I know I said it is Joe. I am glad I've not been drawn into this group of death. It is Newcastle United Women drawn first against Everton Women, Liverpool Women, and the mighty Manchester United Women in the Women's League Cup in the group of death of Group A. We've got a lot to discuss over the next couple of weeks with that. Pardon me. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, it has been Joe. It has been Newcastle Fans TV. Your champion and warrior is signing out. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.